Welcome one and all to episode 3 of Throwback Reviews. For today's episode, we're going to do a throwback review of the Five Nights at Freddy's sister location Funko Plushies. So, with that being said, let's begin. And we're going to start off with the main character herself, Circus Baby. And right off the bat, I really like this plushie. She's adorable, she's simplified in a good way, and she just looks really nice and adorable. Her body pattern looks nice, her face looks adorable, some of the details on her look nice. And yeah, overall, she just looks really cute, pretty nice, and just adorable. I mean, yeah, there are issues, like the turquoise eyes, the incorrect hair color, and the quality printing right here not being all that great. But despite these issues, I still like this plushie. She looks nice, and she looks adorable. So now, let's move on to the next plushie. Up next is Ballora, and I do like this plushie, but there are some issues. First of all, the body design isn't as good as the design of the prototype plush's body. The prototype version did a much better job on the design, but this right here isn't really as good. I mean, it looks fine. It does look about right. It's just not as good as the prototype. And second of all, her head is also nowhere near as good as the prototype. The head design was better. This right here, it's, a little shorter, and she does look a little off. But even though her head is a little off, her face does look fine. I mean, she doesn't have a nose, but I'm guessing it's because there was no way to give her a nose, so I guess that's fine. And her eyes are a little too low, but overall, her face looks fine. There are some details that she's missing, like the earrings and the puffballs on her skirt, but those design details do seem complicating for Funko, so it makes sense for them to leave them out. And Ballora does suffer from the bad printing quality. But the printing's not a bad idea because it does add some detail on these characters. Overall, despite the issues, I still like this plushie. And her design looks decent, and it's not horrible. But they could have done a lot better with this plushie. And now we move on to the next plushie. Up next is Funtime Freddy, and for a plushie based off my favorite SL character, he looks alright. There are issues, but he's alright, and I do like this plushie. The first issue I have with this plushie is that the printing quality, just like the others, are not that good. And also, his speaker design is not really that good either. You can see they did add in some, speaker lines, but you can barely see it. The speaker is really dark. He also doesn't have a stripe on the hat, even though he's supposed to. And they gave Toy Freddy a stripe on the hat, so I don't know why they didn't give Funtime Freddy a stripe on the hat. And also, for some reason, they added this on his hat, even though the Freddys don't have this. So, I don't know why it's there. It's really odd. And Bonnet looks fine, but his colors are kind of off, and his eye color is completely wrong. And his mouth does look a little odd. And yeah, some of the printing quality on him is a little cheesy, but despite those issues, Funtime Freddy looks alright. His nose looks nice, his eyebrows look nice, and his bow tie looks nice too. And pretty much everything else, he looks fine. And yeah, his eyes also look fine too. So yeah, overall, he's an alright plushie, and he's not that bad. So yeah, let's move on to the next plushie. Up next is the ringmaster himself, or I guess herself, Funtime Foxy. And just like the others, this plushie is decent. Of course, there are issues like the printing quality, the inaccurate tuft of fur, and the unnecessary gap between the snout and eyes. But despite those issues, she or he isn't that bad. I like the bow and speaker. Looks really nice. They gave him or her a tail, and I'm glad they did, and it looks really nice. And the colors look pretty nice, and the eyes don't look bad. So, yeah, overall, this plushie isn't bad, and I really like him, or her, I guess. Anyway, let's move on to another plushie. Up next is Ennard, and this one is alright, but as usual there are issues that I feel like could have been fixed. First of all, they gave him a snout for some reason, even though he's a human character and he doesn't have a snout. His eye color is not right, and neither is his eyebrows. His eyebrows should be red, and his eye should be blue. His body looks alright, but there are some unfinished areas, like some of the seams and the button. And the mouth could have been done a little better, and his hat wasn't stuffed, so of course I had to take care of that. And yeah, those are the issues. And as for everything else, it looks fine. So yeah, overall, Ennard looks alright. So now let's move on to the next plushie. And now on to the exclusives, starting with Bonnet. And right off the bat, this plushie looks pretty good, and I really like this plush. And the only issue with this plushie is the turquoise eyes, because it should be green and not turquoise. But despite that issue, everything else looks pretty good. Her face looks nice, her ears look nice, her body looks nice, she has a nice tail. And yeah, overall, this plushie is pretty good, and she's also adorable. So yeah, let's move on to the next plushie. Next up is...
Exotic Butters.
Yep, this exists. Funko made a plushie of Exotic Butters. And you know what? This Exotic Butters plushie is not bad. I mean, the basket color is wrong, but everything else, it's not bad. It's an odd choice for a plush, but it's not bad. So yeah, let's move on. And now for the last plushie for this video, Lolbit. And I really like this plushie. And this plushie is pretty good. The printing is much better than Funtime Foxy's. The quality is really good on this plush. And all the positives I had for Funtime Foxy are still here for this plush. The bow and speaker look nice. He has a tail, which looks nice. The ears are nice. The colors are nice. And the eyes are different. They're flat and not like Funtime Foxy's, but they look fine that way. And yeah, despite the issues still being here, like the unnecessary gap and the inaccurate tuft of fur, this plushie is still pretty good. So yeah, that's all the plushies for this wave. And that, my friends, was a throwback review of the Five Nights at Freddy's sister location Funko plushies. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Well, I'm glad that's over. Come on, babe, let's go. Weirdo.